Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a 2022 Senate prediction, and this is coming after the 2021 governor races results that we saw and the expected boost in GOP turnout and enthusiasm for the 2022 midterms. So with that said, first things first, I'm going to start in the state of New Hampshire, and I'm going to put that in the battleground column. This is going to 100% be one of the closest races in the country, so I think it deserves a little bit more time and attention. The state of Vermont, I think, will go safe for the Democrat, and I think Connecticut will also go safe. I believe, what's his name, Patrick Leahy, he hasn't announced if he's running again or not, but I expect the Democrat to win no matter what, either way. Maryland will go safe as well. New York, Chuck Schumer will win re-election. The only thing that will make it competitive is if, say, AOC runs against him in the primary, then things maybe will get interesting, but otherwise I think that will be a pretty safe race. Pennsylvania is, in my opinion, the closest Senate race. That is definitely one to keep an eye on. Ohio, depending on the candidates, can be very interesting. It's looking like Tim Ryan versus Josh Mandel right now. And given that, I'm going to put the race in the likely column for now. But I do think Tim Ryan versus Josh Mandel does give a potential chance of being a very close and potentially much closer than expected race. Indiana, I think, goes safe. I think Kentucky for Rand Paul also goes safe. North Carolina, I'm going to come back to. That's going to be a very close one. South Carolina, Tim Scott should win, no problem. Georgia, I take it back. Georgia may be the closest Senate race, or second closest, but there are so many close competitive races in 2022, which is what makes it so interesting. Marco Rubio versus Val Demings. I mean, a lot of polls are trying to make it seem like this race is close. I don't even think it is. I think it's going to be over 10 points. Marco Rubio should win, no problem. Alabama, I think, will go safe with the Republicans. Louisiana, I believe, is it? I'm trying to think. I think it's John Kennedy. I think he should win, no problem. If not, it's Bill Cassidy. But I think it's 2014, 2020. Yeah, that should be John Kennedy. He should win, no problem. Arkansas will be safe. Missouri, the primary is very, very interesting. And the candidate who wins can be very interesting. I believe the candidates are Eric Schmidt and Eric Holcomb, Holcomb being the former governor. If he were to win, then things could become very, very interesting. But for now, I think Missouri stays safe. Iowa, Chuck Grassley's running again. That will be a safe race. Illinois will be safe. Wisconsin will be a very close competitive battleground. Still waiting to hear what Ron Johnson is going to do. North and South Dakota both go safe. Kansas should be safe as long as Chris Kobach does not run ever again for the Republicans. That state should always be safe. Oklahoma will be safe. Colorado, given the fact that it's a midterm election, I could see Colorado potentially get close, but I'm not sure by how much. I'm going to be very generous and say Democrats only win by about 8 or 9, so barely in the likely column, but that should not be close at all. Idaho should go safe. Evan McMullen is running in Utah, most likely as a third-party candidate, so I don't think that will be too much of a factor. Republicans should still do very well there. Arizona, I think, will be a pure battleground state, as will the state of Nevada, also very close. The state of Washington will go safe blue, as will Oregon and California. Hawaii as well. Alaska is very interesting. Will it be Kelly Tshibaka? Will it be Lisa Murkowski? There's a new poll showing Murkowski in very good standing with the Alaska GOP. So for now, I'm going to put it in safe red, but that's something interesting to keep an eye on as well. That's just me moving my chair if you can hear it. So Republicans have 47, Democrats have 46. First things first, I'm going back to a call that I've been making for a long, long time. The state of New Hampshire. All signs are pointing towards Governor Chris Sununu running for re-election. And if Sununu runs, I think this race will be very expensive. I think it'll be a very tight, contested race. But I think the end result will be a little bit bigger than a lot of people think. I think Sununu runs, and if he wins, I think he will win by about a 51% to 48% margin, so about 3% or so. I think Sununu is doing well. He has a high approval rating, and this is not another case of Tennessee or Montana where it's a governor running against a senator and getting blown out. New Hampshire is a swing state. Chris Sununu is a very popular governor, and Maggie Hassan is not all too well liked in New Hampshire as of recent polling data, which will be enough for Chris Sununu to win by about 3 percentage points or so, in my opinion. So New Hampshire goes red for Chris Sununu. The state of North Carolina, right now the Republican candidates are likely to be either Pat McCrory or Ted Budd. Pat McCrory has been leading in all the polls. However, Ted Budd was endorsed by Donald Trump. It's tough because Ted Budd I don't know all too well about. Pat McCrory was the governor of North Carolina, and he did win once, lose once. So that could be an instinct of who does better in 2022. Is it the Trump candidates or is it the candidates who are known statewide and can win? I think my prediction for right now is I think Pat McCrory ends up holding on and winning the primary. And I think North Carolina will win by about 2 or 3% or so just enough to be in the lean column. But I do think North Carolina will be very close and hard fought. But given the 2022 environment, I don't see why North Carolina would go blue. So that is 2 swing states going for the Republicans in 2022 so far. The state of Georgia, Herschel Walker versus Raphael Warnock. This is probably the closest swing state there is going to be. This race is so close. And there's really a lot riding on this. I have this very weird feeling of Herschel Walker narrowly flipping this race back. Actually, maybe lean, maybe tilt, but I do think that Herschel Walker will do just enough to beat Raphael Warnock. I think the midterm or the special election was a special case. I don't think that will happen again. Brian Kemp is in a much tougher fight than I think Herschel Walker is. I think Herschel Walker, he's got the endorsement of pretty much everyone, and I think he's a good candidate for the Republicans to try to win that race back. So Georgia goes red for Herschel Walker. The state of Wisconsin, we're still waiting to hear what Ron Johnson is going to do, and I'm not too sure. I think if Ron Johnson runs, I think he wins this race by about 2 or 3%. If he does not run, I think the race is a pure battleground, and it's really depending on who the candidates are going to be. So until Johnson makes his decision, I'm going to put this race in tilt Republican. I think if Johnson wins, it goes up. If Johnson announces he's not running, it goes to battleground, and we'll have to wait and see. I think Republicans are still favored, given that it is 2022, and it's looking like it's a good Republican year, but it's all about candidates. We're waiting to see. It's a different case than New Hampshire because Chris Sununu, we all but know, is going to run. It's the worst kept secret. We know he's going to run. Ron Johnson, we're still waiting for. We have 3 states left, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. The state of Pennsylvania is looking like it's going to be Fetterman, most likely in the Democratic side. Maybe Conor Lamb may pull an upset in the primary, but I think John Fetterman will likely win, and Sean Parnell is looking like the Republican nominee. This race will be very hardly fought, very close, but as of right now, if it's Fetterman versus Parnell, I think Parnell will narrowly win. I don't think Fetterman is going to do as well in the suburbs as a lot of internal Democratic strategists think he may. Fetterman, being a self-described socialist, is definitely going to hurt him more than help him in the rural and suburbs areas. He may do better in places like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, especially Pittsburgh, being that he's from there, but by how much, I'm not sure. If Conor Lamb were the nominee, I think things may be a little bit better for the Democrats, but I think Sean Parnell is going to ride the Republican wave and win the state of Pennsylvania. Now we come down to Nevada and Arizona. These are 2 states that are very, very close. And Arizona, I've been saying for a while, if Republicans want to win, they have a very simple way of doing it. Convince Governor Doug Ducey to run. Let's be straight. A lot of Trump Republicans are not happy with Doug Ducey. But if Doug Ducey decides to run against Mark Kelly, this race goes lean red. And that's a fact. Doug Ducey is a very good candidate, and he would definitely be able to win. However, former President Trump is all but seen to the fact that Doug Ducey will not run for re-election. And I'm assuming if that holds up, it will be Mark Kelly versus Mark Brnovich. And Mark Brnovich is not a bad candidate, but he's not Doug Ducey. Doug Ducey could win this race. I'm still not convinced. I think Mark Kelly narrowly holds on over Mark Brnovich if the election were held today. Republicans need to convince Doug Ducey to run. If they do, Arizona should be a flip. Now we have the state of Nevada. Nevada I've gone back and forth on because it is such a close race. And Catherine Cortez Masto is not really disapproved of highly or approved of highly, which does bode well for Republicans. Adam Laxalt, everyone knows who he is. They know his father, who served him statewide. He was the Attorney General a few years ago. And Dean Heller is also running for governor. So you have a very high-profile Republican candidates on the Nevada side. Another thing with Laxalt is he has the endorsement of everyone, and he has a lot of fundraising and money behind him. I've previously said this race was very, very close, but narrowly in the Democratic column. After what happened in Virginia and New Jersey, I am more than comfortable putting Nevada in the tilt Republican column. Nevada's been inching closer and closer to a Republican win, and 2022, it's looking like maybe the year that does it. Arizona can very well flip from Mark Kelly to a Republican as well, but it can't be Mark Brnovich. It has to be Doug Ducey. If Republicans run Ducey, they win that state easy, and it's 54-46 for the Republicans. But until now, I'm going to put Nevada in the tilt R column, Arizona in tilt D. Republicans get 53 Senate seats, Democrats get 47. That's going to do it for today's video. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought of the video and who you think will win any of the potential close Senate races. If you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you tap the red subscribe button in the description or tap my channel logo in the middle of the screen. You can click on that and it'll also subscribe for you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.